Hello and welcome to another episode of the This or That podcast. My name's Ed. As always, I'm joined by Callum.
Hello.
Jules.
Hello.
And we're here to discuss two more films for you. First film is Silence of the Lambs. So, Silence of the Lambs, female agent Clarice Starling is a trainee FBI agent and wants nothing more than her FBI badge. There is a serial killer called Buffalo Bill at large, and Clarice is tasked to go to a psychiatric facility to speak with Hannibal Lecter, who's a notorious serial killer, to help glean any information that could help with the capture of Buffalo Bill. The second film is Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks is Man of the Year. He's a suave businessman with a dark secret. He's a murderer called the Thumbprint Killer. He has been dormant for years and then suddenly gets the urge to kill again, only to find out that someone was watching. We see the story through the eyes of a serial killer addicted to killing. So, let's just jump straight in with Silence of the Lambs, I guess. Let's go first.
Yeah, grand.
My first note is amazing film, my all-time favourite.
All right, so is that clear cut? Yeah. yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
Podcast over. Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good. I don't think it's the best representation of serial killers or psychopaths or anything like that, but I think it's very good for the time. Is it 1990?
Yeah.
Something like that.
1991, yeah.
I mean, it's so set in the 80s. Everyone, all the hair and all the clothes.
Well, see, I looked up that, to ask
Like when it was
set,
filmed.
and it's set in 1991. That's what it said.
I mean, that's quite close to the 80s.
But it's clearly filmed like a year or two before.
Oh, I see.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of the style of the 90s has came in yet. But you know, little things. I did like it, and Anthony Hopkins obviously very good. I thought Jodie Foster was excellent.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's like the standout of the film.
Yeah.
But I think
Did she win
They
an
all
Academy
win Oscars.
Award?
They all
Yeah,
win.
they
I think
all
it was
did.
5 or
Fair
well,
enough. Then.
it was like for Anthony Hopkins, this was like his last ditch attempt to break into Hollywood.
Was it?
Oh, was it?
So
Okay.
he had been doing loads of like smaller indie films and TV shows and stuff, and this was like his last ditch attempt to get into Hollywood. So he took the part, and I think he did quite well.
He did.
He's quite good at playing a psycho, which is But I mean, you guys had never seen it before, had you?
No.
For my sins, no.
What did you? I mean, like, I'm interested to see what you guys really thought about it in terms of like for a first time view, because I know a lot of people have watched it. It's one of them films that they've watched a few times, and every time they watch it again, they can get more from it. So I don't know if you would watch it again, or if you thought what you thought as a first time.
I probably wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, full cards on the table. I don't really like these types of films.
Too scary for Jules.
Scary. It was gross. But yeah, if someone was like, "We're watching this film," I'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I'd watch it to see if I've picked up any other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's that type of film where you'd hope there'd be clues maybe you could pick up.
Yeah.
If you know things already about Buffalo Bill, maybe there's some more clues to pick up on.
In my notes, I was writing down, "This seems important." I remember, like, people say fava beans a lot.
Say what?
People say fava beans a lot in like general. I've heard.
Is that just a
people reference-
West Virginian saying, maybe?
Well, no, I think I don't know, but it's basically broad beans.
Oh.
But apparently they're quite a big part of it. I don't know, because I just know I haven't watched Silence of the Lambs before, but people always.
Are you sure
say,
you've watched it at all?
I don't remember.
People always say fava beans all the time.
Do they?
Fava beans?
I don't know.
I don't remember this.
I'm
at all.
sure they say that.
Fuck knows.
No.
I've written down fava beans equals broad beans for sure. People always like fava beans as like a joke or something.
Yeah.
Did
So
you
I
have,
imagine there's lots of things like that where it's like the fava bean is really important if you look into it and stuff.
did you have a bean-based dinner after watching this film as
I
well?
mostly have bean-based dinners, so there's nothing to do with this film. I just like the beans.
So very
I've been
relatable.
eating a lot of beans though.
Yeah.
The crop this year has been very good.
I mean, my one of my 3 notes for this film is seems older than it is.
Yeah.
It really seems like it was made late 70s, early 80s to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way it's shot reminds me of Kubrick a bit.
Yeah.
All that kind of which is good because it's more entertaining. Like it makes use of the camera work and all that stuff, which I enjoy. Lots of zoom ins and pans and following and all this stuff, which is good. But yeah, it seemed old.
Well,
It seemed really
the
old.
The set will be that kind of age because where they are in the prison and stuff would have been built a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
But even just like,
the style of
even like, I don't know, the way they processed the film
yeah,
doesn't seem like a 90s. I feel like the 90s had a lot more colour.
it's very early 90s.
I know, yeah.
yeah. I mean, like budget-wise, it wasn't, mad budget. I mean, maybe for the time it was a mad budget.
How much was the budget?
Budget was 19 million,
No, that's cheap as chips.
and then
Even then.
well, I mean, I know we don't. Well, we can do the numbers now because it's insane. So budget was 90 million, and it grossed 272.7 million.
That's a hit. That's
That's
a big
a
old
hit.
old hit.
That's it.
And I've heard the next film is equally as good.
Well, is a prequel, Red Dragon.
Oh, that's
is
what
it?
I'm thinking.
That's really good. That's got Ed Norton and Ray Fiennes in it.
of.
Brilliant.
I thought it was bad.
No, it's good.
Oh.
Very good.
Fair enough.
Is it seen as good or you just like it?
I think it's seen as good. I like it.
Well, you like
My joke doesn't work then. But I swear there's one with Anthony Hopkins that is like
Yeah, there's
meant to be really bad.
There's Hannibal, then there's Hannibal Lecter Rises, or
And that's all Anthony. still.
the second one is
Red Dragon's Anthony.
No, Red Dragon's not Anthony. He's not in it. So it's a prequel. So it's before. So they make at the end of Red Dragon, they make a reference to Clarice and Jack Crawford, and about how there's a killer.
Clarice.
Yeah, hello,
Yeah,
Clarice.
the
I want a room.
The voice is
I want a
obviously
room with a view. I want
Yeah.
a tree. Love it.
You can tell he's like, a proper English theatre actor.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
doing the most he can with every scene. Because he's only in it like, is it something like 12 minutes famously?
Yeah,
He's in this film
Yeah,
and
that
he
surprised
won
me,
an Oscar.
How much? There just wasn't very much in it. I mean,
Yeah.
half the time he's just got a big mask over.
It's
his
not
face.
really it's about Buffalo Bill, isn't it?
yeah.
really.
It's about Buffalo, but and Clarice,
Who's really
yeah.
interesting. I find Buffalo Bill an interesting character.
Yeah,
And there's lots of stuff that I'm sure we won't get into because we're not qualified to talk about as three dumb white men and his conditions and psychologically.
his proclivities.
Yes. But no, I thought he was really interesting and really good on camera. The switches he does. I mean, I guess the big switch is like right at the end where he's trying to find the business card and then he just switches. Like he knows how to, which is like a true thing with psychopaths, like the masking and all that stuff and pretending you're normal. I thought that was really good of him. And Clarice is really good throughout the entire thing. Her mentor,
Jack Crawford.
dog of a bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, he's bad.
Dog of a
Dog.
bloke.
But it is like, I think one of my notes is it's Clarice Starling is navigating through a very male dominant work environment,
Yeah.
but never seems to be phased by it whatsoever. Like
No.
there's a scene where she gets into an elevator and it's just full of blokes, and she's just like it doesn't look like she's intimidated, but it just goes to show that like she belongs there.
She's like,
And
she's always very aware.
I
yeah,
think she
Which
gets
is
pissed
like-
off by it.
oh for sure, yeah.
It's-
And-
well, when she gets asked to wait because
Mhm.
they go to a small town,
Yeah, and they got the coffees and they.
which is like a big thing in like Mindhunter, which is like the start of the FBI
yeah,
separate thing for psychopaths and serial killers and all that.
the BAU.
Yeah, like you're going to these small towns and they
They have no idea.
are 50 years behind.
Yeah, yeah.
The
And they are in the middle of
FBI.
nowhere, like,
and-
America's so big.
yeah, so
And, yeah,
you, like the guy. I mean, once again, the mentor is a dog of a bloke, so he like half-ass apologizes to her. But like it's a fair point. Like she does need to wait outside, like because they're professionals. You can't just like bust in and be like, "Come on, she's going to take over." She's not even an agent, right?
no, not
So
yet, no.
like it would be totally unprofessional to have her in the room with the sheriff and all that. Realistically,
Well, I think because she'd been tasked with a job by him, and then
kind of sidelined.
yeah, and then
a
she
lot.
wasn't allowed to do her job
Yeah,
because of bullshit semantics, basically sexism. They class this film as a sort of like
What do they class it as?
a psychological thriller
thriller.
horror,
Yeah.
but there are like little to no jump scares in it whatsoever, which I would say constitutes a horror movie if there's like a couple of jump scares in there and stuff. But
There's gross scares.
there's gross scares, but it's not like
Different levels in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
horror, I just think, horrific. So anything that's horrific, which you don't have to, you don't even need to show it
no. But I think
to
it's
get that sense if
That's
you're doing
classic
well
horror,
enough.
isn't it?
Yeah.
it sort of goes
Your
to-
imagination.
yeah, well, it's like I put here, like it allows the story to settle into your psyche, just like Lecter does to Stalin. So like he like infiltrates her mind and like gets under her skin sort of thing, which is she is explicitly told.
She is explicitly told
Don't
not,
tell him anything personal.
and she does it almost immediately.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's like trying to show that how intelligent, like how manipulative and how intelligent he is as a person, and like his character, I think, is very very interesting. But
Hot take.
at this time, there wasn't really any other psychopath films.
No, American
Like
Psycho
this.
is like 5 years out.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I guess some of the characters in some of the Quentin films maybe, but they're so broad and almost caricature
Yeah.
rather than this being, serious
Mm.
insights into people's psyches.
Was that many grim films around before this?
Well, there's The Shining was,
The Shining,
was
yeah.
probably the big one, the first
Yeah.
kind of
Could
psychological.
you look back on some of the old films?
Yeah,
like
I guess,
famous,
actually,
like,
yeah,
slasher
that's so
stuff,
true.
There's not very much gore or blood or.
No, like the original Halloween is very campy if you watch
Yeah,
it
it's
now.
Mm.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't say this is my favorite thing in this genre, but it is from 1991, and I haven't watched The Shining, so I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get round to it.
The Shining's fucking long, man.
Yeah.
It is so long. But
I've watched the scene in Ready Player
How long-
One about The Shining.
It's very good.
How long
yeah.
is this film? 2
Uh,
hours.
about 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I don't know about you guys, but it never ever felt like it was 2 hours. Like, it didn't feel like I was,
No, but I
bored
was.
at any point.
I was very ill, literally until yesterday. So, I wasn't doing anything. I was just lying on the sofa anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think what this film is, there's so many sort of like Easter eggs and theories and whatever about, like, one of the big questions is, how does Lecter know so much about the case? Like, how does he know about Buffalo Bill? Is it because,
He knows him.
yeah, but like that's quite up in the air. Like, because
No,
they
it's not.
they
It's
find-
explicitly in the
He
film.
was a psychiatrist to him, wasn't he?
No, he's a psychiatrist to one of his lovers.
yeah,
Oh, I see.
yeah, and then they find
The head
the head in the
of
garage.
the lover,
Yeah, of the lover.
which so the
Then they trace it
patient,
back to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
which presumably was a gift, maybe from Buffalo Bill.
Mm.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He obviously, planted seeds in Buffalo Bill's mind to like a sleeper agent almost, to just like plants little bits in his mind to turn him into a killer sort of thing. He uses it as leverage from the start of the film to then choreograph his whole escape, to then go after Chilton, his psychiatrist, who like
It
tortured him. Or
is
whatever.
very good how
Well,
he uses
psychologically tortured him.
the information that he gives and withholds to escape. Like, that is very good and very clever. In terms of the head that they find, I have a quote which is, his therapy wasn't going anywhere. I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah. For a killer, he's got a lot of morals. So like,
Which they often do. They have strict, skewed, but they have strict moral
Codes.
codes
Yeah,
as far as
yeah.
I'm aware. Like they have, because they're very specific about who they kill and why they're killing. So like Buffalo Bill is going for overweight women, as they put it in the film and stuff like that. They go for a type.
Well, they often have to justify. They often have like a justification. If you watch like documentaries where they're interviewing like gang leaders and all that kind of stuff, they've often got like a kind of code or moral kind of way of justifying it to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it Ed Bundy in Mindhunters, the big one?
yeah,
The mustache.
no, Ed, no,
No, Bundy's that.
Ted
Bundy.
Bundy. That's Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
It's
Ted Bundy.
Ed. Oh, I
Big
can't
guy
remember.
with a mustache.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Who
like
decapitates people.
Yeah, and that all stems from his mum.
Mum.
And so the women he goes after are, of his mother's, age,
Yeah.
of that time of when it like triggered in him and all that stuff. So they have their own reasoning
Yeah.
and they'll have their own way of killing specifically. So like Buffalo Bill, the reason he's taking these women is because he wants to be a woman himself. He wants to transition into being a woman, and he got rejected basically because of his mental state, presumably, and who knows, maybe some criminal stuff. And stuff like that. So he has turned to taking women, and the reason they need to be somewhat overweight is so the skin is stretched, like with stretch marks and whatever, and then he'll put them down a well, and he won't give them any food, so they'll like lose their water weight, I guess, and stuff like that. And so the skin will be extra flabby, I guess.
Yeah,
in that kind of
it gets
looser. That was that's what they said. So he can
makes them put lotion on.
Yeah,
on
he
their
does
skin.
a lot of lotion.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, or
it gets the hose again.
And what he wants to do is to make a suit for himself to put on. He's already...
Why does he need multiple people to do that?
Because he's taking parts. He's not using like a whole suit. He's like taking like...
He's not using a whole suit.
He's like, there's a bit where he's got like
I just assumed he was...
hair and a scalp and hair, and then he's got like...
So he's taking different parts from different people to amalgamate together rather than just taking someone else's.
Yeah. Because he needs the perfect part for each part.
So he's... Okay, so I like your arms.
Yeah.
I'll take you.
Exactly.
Frankenstein.
I mean, there's...
Frankenstein.
It's one of them where like, you know... I don't think he's
rationale.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be close to someone like that.
He's willing to do that, like
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
In my mind,
got a more efficient way of doing it.
Yeah.
I just thought,
where were you, mate?
It'd probably be difficult.
Probably
not to think about it too much, because I don't want to think about it too much. But maybe it'd be to skin an entire woman to then stitch an entire woman into a suit. Maybe he's just not that good at butchery,
and he gets it wrong.
Yeah. So you need, maybe he does as much as he can,
and then
that's why he goes and finds. Yeah, and then also that you got to treat it right or whatever. Was it tanning?
Tanning, yeah. It's
presumably
like where it sort of leathers a bit.
Yeah, you don't want your skin to be leather. It doesn't want to.
Well, I don't know.
But you don't want it. You don't want it to go. You don't want your skin suit to go bad, do you?
Yeah, you got a skin suit.
Lucky. What I do want to talk about. I didn't realize how much of this film I kind of already seen.
Yeah.
So the ending,
yeah,
when Anthony Hopkins walked away, I've seen that properly, like as in the actual thing. I think it's in The Simpsons, and I mean everything.
The Mask is famous.
The Mask, but the one thing that I definitely know is the "Would you fuck me?"
Yeah,
I'd fuck me.
That's from Family Guy when Chris does it.
Jay and Silent Bob do it in Clerks 2.
Do they?
And it's knowing now that it's from this film, it's such an odd choice to include it.
Yeah,
because it's just Jay and Silent. Well, it's just Jay really. It's just Silent Bob in the background. It's just Jay doing the whole thing, including the mangina. It's such an odd choice to include it in a comedy film in 2006. 15 years later.
Yeah. Well, they do it. Chris Griffin does it in a Family Guy as well, but instead they go like, "Would you dare me?" But yeah, it is weird. Like when you think about the context of it, it's a very strange choice.
Yeah.
Because it's not really funny. Do you know what I mean? Like it's sort of like.
I mean, I was laughing because I was like, "What? Wait, what?"
Yeah.
I quote this a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe I should not.
Yeah. Now I know.
Now I know.
But there's some other interesting stuff about this film. Like, so they actually got like real FBI agents on the film. So they like consultants, and I think they actually spoke to the FBI agent who they based Jack Crawford on, who actually worked for the BAU. So they like went through loads of cases, got loads of information, talked to people. Anthony Hopkins visited prisons and talked to psychopaths and killers and all sorts of stuff to like get into the role, which is pretty cool, I think. In terms of like research, I think it's like
doing the work.
Yeah, to get as authentic as you can. I think it really shows too. You can't really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much like research and method acting was going on before. I know it was like Marlon Brando was known for method acting, but he was also a cunt as far as I'm aware, especially towards the end of his career. Don't know how much. I mean, you just read his lines off like people's chests and stuff. Like, even
He'd
even
have
in The Godfather.
an earpiece in.
Yeah,
And his PA would like feed him his lines.
Yeah, people do that though. Like Johnny Depp's famous for doing that, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit lazy to me, but anyway.
It is lazy.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not. But
The idea is that Marlon Brando would say is to keep it fresh,
Yeah.
so he wouldn't know the script, so he could say it off the cuff, and it would keep
Yeah.
it fresh. And that's why you would only do one take as well, because that's the freshest it can. Freshest it can get. Give me my 14 million for Superman.
Yeah. The other big thing, the big clue that Hannibal gives Clarice about the painting in his cell, or the sketch in his shell. In his shell. He's a hermit crab.
he is in a shell suit. But
In his cell. So he's got the picture of the Duomo seen from Belvedere, the Florence sort of buildings and the
big
land
dome.
it's in Florence, the landscape. And then Buffalo Bill is later found in Belvedere, Ohio. So he's like set up the whole. So he's like planting clues in plain sight. And then obviously everybody else goes. Clarice is going door to door and then sort of stumbles upon Buffalo Bill, but everybody else is somewhere else, aren't they?
yeah, that whole.
That was good.
And
That was
then-
good sequence. I
Yeah.
liked
It's a
it.
good,
And then he
but why
puts
people
the-
going into houses on their own. This is the thing I have about horror.
Yeah.
Stop going into the dark, scary houses.
Or
on your
let's
own.
No,
split up.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking not.
Absolutely not. Famously
Like,
don't split
I don't
up.
wanna do that.
Famously.
Especially
If
when
we
you're making
were-
like a serious film about serious cops. Like the policy, it's two. You go. That's why you have got a partner like for these situations.
guy's-
Like
Doing weird stuff with people. He's killing people. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
when she
Be more
clock,
careful.
it's when she clocks it though in the house.
she's terrified.
And she's like, holy shit. And it's I either get out of here or I prove myself because I really want my badge. I really want my swimming
it's
badge.
necessary to do what she does to get a badge. Just unnecessary. He's in the basement, which is massive. I will say that he's got a huge basement, like the size of 3 houses. How's he built that? Madness. First plot hole.
It's America, man. Like,
wow.
I mean, you like if you watch some of these real places, like they do this.
Yeah.
They do this.
Madness.
I mean, it's like in Barbarian. Fucking hell.
Oh
It
yeah,
goes
and he has
on-
that whole cellar system underneath his house. Yeah.
But
That's just there.
Some places are just like that. They'll just dig for generations. Like fucking
Make stuff.
they're
Weird.
just like, nah, I can do what I want.
Mad.
But
you know?
it's because they originally go. So when like Jack Crawford and all the others go off to that other place, it's because they've had an import of those death moths, the like exotic moths that are used in the
Yeah.
as like a sort of say trademark. And like so they go there. Calling card, thank you. So they go over to this guy
Like
and
the
they're
Joker.
like, there's no one there. And then it is when Clarice clocks it in the house and I think she does see a moth, doesn't she? And she's like, oh shit. Like there's one like flapping about in the window and then she's like, oh no.
Yeah. Because he just got one out when she rang the bell, and that's why it's floating around.
Yeah.
The whole transfer thing. Why do they transfer Hannibal?
Because
It's the deal,
it's a deal. That's the deal for him helping.
So then, but I mean,
which was a fake deal to begin with. So
Yes.
Jodie Foster came with a fake deal, and then it's because the person that's being kidnapped by Buffalo Bill is the daughter of a senator, and that's why.
And the senators said, "I like do what he's asking because I want my daughter back." Basically,
yeah, I think the whole transfer scene to me when I first watched it, I was like, I don't know if this is how I would transfer this person.
It's interesting because they do a lot of that.
Yeah,
They show a lot of that in like Mindhunter, which is just going to be my go-to for all my information,
and it's also incredible.
and it's incredible. It's the best one for me of this kind
I
of thing.
agree.
I would-
Yeah,
You should watch it.
I'm not going to.
it's brilliant.
It's so
No.
good. Too scary. It's scary. But like he makes loads of deals in it. The old guy. I mean, it's mostly cigarettes and
Women's shoes,
women's shoes, and it's
all the usual shit.
it's just little trinkets. It's not like
Little bits and bobs.
we're gonna get. We can't get time
Well,
for a
that's what he
sentence
says.
or whatever.
He
You're
says
in for life.
He wants a room with a view, and like, but
which is doable.
and so they want to. He basically wants to get moved, but then to a less secure facility and away from Chilton because Chilton's like,
He's a Mina Bobini to him, isn't he?
yeah, and I think like.
And which is all just part of his plan, like, to get out.
And
it's not real.
And he also Hannibal he kills a nurse, doesn't he, whilst he's in there too?
No, he kills the other cellmate. He gets the other cellmate to kill himself.
No, he also he also kills a nurse in there when he's like getting a health check on a table, and then he like bites her or something. I can't remember, but he definitely does kill a nurse.
They mention it to Clarice.
Yes, they mention it
to be
Clarice.
careful because this has happened.
Yes.
And
then they say like his heart rate never reached above 85 or something like that. So he was like completely calm whilst doing it. And Miggs, who's in the cell next to him, who throws jism in her face.
Yeah, come seeing gross.
Yeah. But he doesn't actually physically touch him to kill him. He
just talks to him.
He talks to him to kill himself as a favour to Clarice.
Yeah, as like a protective kind of thing.
You know, like she's dealing with a lot of loss. Her dad died. He was a police
All very
officer.
Predictable, that storyline.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's old, but all very predictable about her psychology. And
Yeah. And like she witnessed like the lambs being slaughtered and all that. And then Silence of the Lambs. And
he didn't say Silence of the Lambs, though. I was like, fuck, just say it.
Just
say it.
Yeah.
The screams of the lambs. That's not what it's called. It's the silence.
Yeah, and then she ran away, and all that stuff, and because there's always like a sort of mutual respect between them, but I don't know if it's mutual. If Clarice is aware that she's respecting him, like he's got into her mind so much that she's just gave up, but doesn't realize that she's complicit.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is very, for me, surface level.
Yeah.
Like all the getting into. What did I say? Something wrong?
No, I was just surprised at what I said.
He said the word complicit.
Yeah.
I see.
And I was like, just listening to
well
I was
done.
like,
well
I
done.
could feel him looking at me.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge the
Tell
word.
me I'm good.
Be
Tell me I'm
complicit in
good.
my complicity.
But no, like I feel like it's fairly surface level. All that him getting in her head and all that stuff. Like it doesn't feel complex enough to be real.
No.
But I understand this is a 2-hour film.
Yeah.
From 1991. You got to get the point across, and at that time it would have been, and it still works. It still gets the point across. So I understand that. I mean, I think a lot of stuff lends itself to TV and longer format storytelling, and with films, you just you got to cut out so much.
But we don't like films that much.
Yeah.
Whoops.
No, love films.
So let's compare this to the other one, which is Mr. Brooks, 2007. This came out. Kevin Costner, Demi Moore, Dane Cook, which is a bit of a surprise, but anyway. I like the concept of this film. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of plot lines. Demi Moore's character, she's getting divorced, then she's
a hard done by cop.
Yeah, and then
Is
she's
there many
kidnapped,
plot
and then
lines?
she's
People keep saying
like involved.
There
with-
is, but they're unnecessary.
Well, they're sort of like, that's the thing, none of them are developed.
No, because once again, it's
the main
2-hour
plot
film,
line,
isn't it?
And then there's a police officer who has a little bit of development.
And then there's Dane Cook, who's a wannabe serial
There's
killer.
hardly any real development of him, I don't think.
No,
He's just someone who wants to kill someone.
He was a necessary device to keep Kevin Costner killing,
Yeah.
basically.
Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because is there a theory that he's not real as well, Dane Cook?
I'm sure there'll be loads.
Oh yeah, the
The theory that he's a new personality.
This is what I hate about these films.
But
all these theories are like, this person does this.
But it could sort of.
The film should just be the film and nothing else about it. Why do people talk about films
Let me watch it and just leave
and
it
discuss them?
Yeah. So fucking
So
pointless.
ridiculous.
Good point, well made.
There's but I mean, like you could dispute that because he meets Demi Moore, and all that shit. But like, it's
I'm not a fan of that theory anyway.
Yeah, like Dane Cook is an interesting choice because at the time he was like a big comedian and in like a lot of comedic films. So he's like one of the first. I think it is the first sort of serious role he ever took.
But he's infamous for being shit.
Yeah,
And not funny.
yeah,
Like that's how I know the name Dane Cook.
yeah. He was sort of like trying to be a Ryan Reynolds of that time, I think. Whereas Ryan Reynolds absolutely finessed that type of role, I think. But
And it even took him, 10 years to do it, really.
Where's Dane Cook now?
rich as fuck.
Yeah, rich as fuck on an island somewhere.
He was
probably.
so successful.
Everyone thought he was shit, but he like sort of made that his brand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And made it a thing to his
Use
advantage.
that to make him even more famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my first note here, which I don't remember the joke, but I know it's right at the start because it's when he's accepting his thing. There's a joke about toenails. Do any of you remember this?
No. Well, he says the person who introduces him in Man of the Year says something like, he's great even when he's clipping his toenails.
Something weird.
And then he goes, nah, don't clip my toenails or something.
Yeah,
I think
it's something shit and weird.
In his office, I guess.
And I'm sorry that I can't remember, viewers, but I did watch this film 2 months ago prior to this recording. Yeah, you watched it the other day. Can't remember because I have toenails joke and then question mark. So I don't because you're right. It's the guy who introduces him, and I'm like, that's a shit introduction, and was that even a joke? And I don't get it. And
I hate speeches in general.
Why would you talk about toenails? Like just weird choices.
It came across like an inside joke, I guess.
It did, it did, but but it's a public forum, like,
and also
almost.
Not,
so why would you?
And not relevant to the film whatsoever. Like, it's not like toenails came back into the story. Like,
it's not like he clips the toenails of his victims, or anything like that.
I mean, that would have actually probably been
more interesting.
It would make no sense for that guy to know that.
No, it would have just been a clue for the audience, I guess.
Yeah, I just came across an inside joke. Like with many things in this film, I just sort of glazed over.
Yeah, not a huge fan about how they represent psychopaths really in this. So basically, Mr. Brooks is two people.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy again? What's his name again? What do they call him?
Marshall.
Which
means to corral, to control.
Yeah, who is played by William Hurt.
William Hurt,
who is got a great mustache in the Marvel films, and I think he's the best thing about it. I'm not a huge fan of Kevin Costner anyway. I know Ed, you quite like him.
I like him.
You like his films.
I think it's he's made some bad films, but he's made some good films.
What other films is he in?
JFK.
He was a huge star.
Well,
the late 80s, 90s, he was a huge star.
He was in Waterworld. That's not very good.
Well, Waterworld and The Postman are these like two post-apocalyptic films.
Yeah.
And it basically ruined his entire career.
Yeah.
Like, he was so influential and powerful that he got to make Waterworld.
Yeah.
Which is essentially just Mad Max on the water. And it was so expensive and such a huge flop.
Yeah, it was
that
terrible.
It kind of destroyed his reputation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these actors that I like, obviously very famous, that I've heard of, and just never know what they're
why and what happened to them and all that.
Well, like, Kevin Costner's, he's good. He's done JFK.
The Untouchables was a big one.
Dances with Wolves.
That's the big... Is that why he won the Oscar? Or the film won the Oscar?
The film won the Oscar, but his mate wrote that for him.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
So he's done like some good film, and he's done a childhood film of mine, which I used to watch a lot, was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
And now he just makes right-wing cowboy
He's
propaganda.
in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yellowstone's massive, isn't it?
I mean, to be fair, I put right-wing psychopath here as well, because he's a right-wing psychopath.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. He's
Is he right-wing?
Yeah, because he's like a big businessman. It's all about business and all that. Yeah, capitalist. Yeah, there. Once again, it's so long ago, but there were some specific reasons why I put right wing. There was some. I think it's about his daughter. And it's about his daughter. He's like,
you won't give this baby up when he thinks
he's anti-abortion.
Yeah,
that's it. He's anti-abortion. That's why I put right wing.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because he kind of he
pro-life.
comes out. He comes across
pro-life.
He comes across as that. And then kind of tempers himself quite quickly. It was quite interesting, I think, because there are some parts which I quite enjoyed or were interesting, but some of his he outburst, didn't he? And he was like, "No, you're not going to do that." And then he was like, "Oh, hang on, give myself a second."
He is quite good at honing it in, but he does. There is a lot of other things that he's sort of is that he knows two parts of himself, but can never put them together. You only ever really see him animated whenever he's interacting with Marshall. And he's laughing and joking, and then when he's with his family, he's very calm and collected, and doesn't really give away too much. But he can never put those two, facets of his personality.
To be
together.
clear, Marshall is in his head.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he's still interacting with Marshall, and
when they're in the car, I think it's towards the end, isn't it? They're laughing and joking,
and the laugh is always a bit creepy.
Yeah, which
But-
which is good. Those scenes are probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like the concept of split personality serial killer.
Split.
Yeah, because it makes split. Oh, fucking hell, I haven't watched it, but it looks. Ugh.
It's all right.
It doesn't seem real to me.
Yeah.
The point of like psychopaths that they mask, but it's fake. And they know it's fake. Like, you can't just have a completely normal personality within yourself. Like, he's a real person.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm aware, like, that's just not real. Like a psychopath just wouldn't be able to, like, they're very observant and can mask very well, but like, it's not like they have the genuine, they are incapable of those genuine feelings, whereas he seems to have these genuine feelings of guilt, of remorse, of love.
I think they're going from a different type of personality where he's an addict of it.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
the lust.
Because he gets all like orgasmy over killing people.
He does. But that's a common thing, like all the sex stuff.
But all the process, the whole process for him is like a kind of like a nice thing for him to do, because he goes into that special room. Who built it? Question mark.
He did.
Did he build it?
Yeah,
because
his front is
pottery.
Pottery, yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go work on some glazers.
Yeah, and then he builds that whole
kiln thing. So it's like a big kiln.
Yeah, but so who's putting it in?
Him. He's paid for it.
Yeah, and I get
because he's a big businessman.
I get he's paid for it, but then as in like, who's building a secret special lair?
It's not that secret. It's in a shed.
It's covered as a craft space.
It's just his hobby. Like, that's his cover, isn't it?
Yeah,
but then he goes in. He's got his like special black suits and stuff, and he's got his bag with his gun in, and that's
and all his different passports and stuff.
And so he likes, it's like a whole. It's almost
and disguises.
Like it's like his nice thing to do, isn't it? The killing is like obviously the bit where he orgasms, but the whole thing is like almost like the foreplay.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of it.
Well, it's like, because he sort of he attends like AA meetings and all these other things to try and overcome a very deep rooted psychological issue that like you just said, he sees it as an addiction, but it's not an addiction.
It's the Dexter route. And
Dexter came out a year before this, I think.
God, Dexter that old. I mean, I remember liking the first season, which I think
Dexter.
Which I think is based on a book, and then the rest of it is whatever. But as soon as Dexter started having too many feelings and a family and all that stuff, it was just like, well, this is just bollocks now, isn't it?
Yeah,
with these people, it has to end badly. Was it violent mean violent ends or whatever, blah blah blah. But like Breaking Bad, the end of Breaking Bad is perfect because it's what he deserves. Even though I love that character, like there's no other way to do it.
No.
And so with these kind of people, when they get the happy life and they get the happy ending, I mean, I don't actually remember what happens at the end of the film. Does he get a happy life and a happy ending?
No. He at the end of the film he dreams that his daughter kills him.
Stupid dream ending. I've got as a note.
Well, it's not the ending.
Does someone kill him?
No.
The daughter stabs him in the neck with a pair of scissors, but then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh no, now my daughter."
And it's sort of like,
oh yeah, because she's they're fucking generational psychopath.
That's the idea.
Yeah, because the idea is
because
she
killed her.
She killed someone.
She killed her flatmate, and that's why she came back.
And then he goes to commit a copycat murder to get her in the clear, sort of thing. Which again, but then like for me,
and it was post 9/11, so I didn't really believe any of that disguise and fake passports, to be honest.
Personally,
when he puts a disguise on, I think he looks like Dave Coaches out of Gavin and Stacey.
He does a bit actually. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, with the handlebar moustache. I think personally, I really like the story told through his point of view. I quite like that, but then it does get a bit convoluted and a bit mixed up.
It came across to me like a US detective program. From the following like a killer.
That's what I was going to say. Was like, well, not detective, but it encroaches into sort of secret agent. Almost undercover, like secret agent vibes when he's got like loads of different passports and disguises and
makes him out to be like super cool.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, no, you would just go. Actually, no, you wouldn't go. Like if you were a true psychopath, you wouldn't go.
He loves his daughter. That's the whole point.
I
wouldn't do this.
And that's the problem because he wouldn't give a shit about his daughter if he was a true psychopath.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
that's
they're
the problem.
questioning that point of view.
But I mean, like it's.
There are
a
psychopaths,
fact.
surely, that like their daughters.
No, the definition of like psychopath is like they don't have any empathy.
But maybe there's a level of some empathy. I don't know.
No. That's sociopaths. So sociopaths
you
can
have
like
a bit of empathy,
yeah.
Well,
But psychopaths
maybe
is
they're
literally
testing
the
it.
inability,
to feel.
and that's why apparently lots of psychopaths work on Wall Street and stuff like that. That's been commonly found. And stuff
Which
like
is
that.
what American Psycho.
Which is what
is-
American Psycho is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, that's them basically saying
he's
that
the-
everyone who's a
This is
fucking
almost saying like
banker is a
Because they
Nightmare.
need no empathy to do
But not
you know,
every
yeah,
the
because
things
they're
they
just
do.
drawing people
yeah,
over
yeah.
but not every
constantly.
killer is a psychopath.
Steady.
No.
So what they might be saying is he's like a general guy that's
But
killed someone and
serial
just
killers,
loves it.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
And he is labelled as the thumbprint killer who's
Yeah.
been
He is
dormant
indeed, yeah.
for. I think Demi Moore's. We've touched on this
Barely
in other,
remember
in other
She's not in it
episodes,
very much.
but in other episodes we've touched on the fact that like
bad.
women are
Yeah.
written badly,
Yeah.
like they're not given enough to do, which
No.
is obviously unfair. With her storyline, you do find yourself thinking this is so fucking dull and boring, and
I don't
like
give a shit about a divorce.
yeah,
Pay the money.
yeah. I mean, the only
And
interest,
she just keeps making it worse for herself, doesn't she?
yeah, and then as a sort of
It goes up from like 750,000 to like 3 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's like if we're talking about similarities, like the similarity, I guess, with Mr. Brooks and Hannibal Lecter is that he then goes to kill her ex-husband as a
Yeah.
favor to her, sort of thing, to like get her out of this stuff. Even though, and then they have that weird phone call at the end, and she's like, I know, oh, it was him and whatever, and like, but he never gets caught. But he sort of. And you think, oh fuck, he's got away with it, but then he's sort of living in his own
Well,
tormented mind, and he's dreaming that he's just going to be killed by his
As a
daughter
daughter.
every
Isn't- 'cause
night.
apparently
Yeah, it's like the
It's
film.
like purgatory.
It's like the
isn't it?
film says, "Oh, this is worse. Him
Yeah.
living his life in torment is
We don't-
worse
he
than
hasn't actually
anything
got away with
else."
it kind of thing. Basically.
Yeah, and it's like, well, no, he should be in prison or dead.
Well, it's interesting
Yeah.
because this film was supposed to be a trilogy.
Mm.
And I think that probably comes across where in the second film, it would then be like there's more of Demi Moore then trying to go after Mr. Brooks further. And then the daughter gets more of a storyline because the daughter's quite annoying.
The door, yeah, it must have been the door. Does he kill Dane Cook?
Yes.
He puts him into the grave because like, he's gonna fall into the grave.
He-
Dane Cook's
yeah.
gonna kill him.
Yeah,
So he
Dane
doesn't
Cook's going to kill him.
subject his family to him being a Mina Bobini.
Mm.
And then he's like, I've changed my mind. I'm going to kill you. And Dane
Yeah,
Cook's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"What?"
yeah. I do have vague memories of that
Because
yeah.
he bends the like pin on his gun, so he can't fire his gun, and and then he has another gun on him, and
But that's the
all
thing.
that
That's
shit.
interesting. Some of the films that we've been reviewing is quite a lot of them seem to be intended as trilogies, and it's come across.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
they've suffered for
trying,
to start being
yeah,
a trilogy. Whereas like
instantly.
Silence of the Lambs has had film. It feels like anyway, films have then been made of it because it's a success.
it wasn't. Yeah, but it wasn't like sort of
It wasn't made to be
a trilogy,
Exactly.
because I think Red.
Well, it has the ending thing where you could lead into.
You could
another-
lead into it, yeah. But lots of films are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs was first, and then Red Dragon, which is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs, came out in 2002. So that was later.
Hannibal
obviously.
Lecter, like, he was a character before that film, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a book or
yeah, it's
something,
a book.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
yeah. I was about to say, okay.
Yeah, and so is Red Dragon. I think it's all by Thomas Harris, I think. Yeah, it's great. Like, Red Dragon is very much worth a watch, I would say. Anthony Hopkins is in Red Dragon very briefly at the start.
Because he has the big
So,
tattoo on him.
no, that's Ray Fiennes. So Hannibal Lecter,
Wait, it's Ray Fiennes.
Ray
Ray
Fiennes,
Fiennes plays a young Anthony Hopkins.
Ralph Fiennes is in Red Dragon, and he's the one with the big tattoo.
That's not Hannibal.
No, Hannibal's in it, right? So the opening scene is Ed Norton's character, who's a detective, capturing Hannibal Lecter.
So once again, it's not about Hannibal. It's
But
another
they
film.
do talk to him again about getting about thinking.
What?
So Red Dragon's got Will Graham in it. So Ed Norton is Will Graham, from Hannibal the TV show.
Oh, the nerdy
Yeah.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to watch that TV show. I didn't think it was very good, but everyone says it's amazing. Like for Hannibal
Never seen it.
lore or whatever.
What, the TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible. It's
There
so
you go.
good.
I didn't like it. There's like a weird scene at the start. Can he see? Can the weird guy see the future or past or something in some weird way? Some like
what? Will Graham?
Yeah.
No, he can't see the future, but he can.
He has some weird power though.
It's not a power. It's seen. He's sort of
Does he
like
have the Batman vision
filmed as a power. No, it's like he can put himself in the shoes of a killer, basically.
Oh yeah, he's so. But he's like an empath.
Yeah, empath. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got so much empathy. Whereas obviously the psychopath, as I've told you, has no empathy.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Not all psychopaths might not all be on.
Well, they are because it's a fact.
Maybe he's not a psychopath.
I've studied it. I've researched it.
Maybe he's not a psychopath.
I researched it for a role when I was an actor. Okay, thank you very much.
Full Anthony Hopkins.
I did.
A couple of points about this film, which are jarring for me. More not necessarily in the film sense, but one, going to a pudding place. Don't like that. Find them to be pointless. I think the thumbprint killer is a bit of a shit name.
Yeah, I agree.
And also he drinks nighttime milk, which I find creepy.
So milk is a staple of the genre for psychopaths.
Okay,
it's meant to be creepy.
Fair play, gross.
Yeah.
And who is the dead swinging man that does all the steroids? They keep saying steroids constantly.
So he's another serial killer.
Okay, and he swings into them and hits
the steroid man. That's his. The guy who swings off the door is his doctor, who he's gone to go get steroids from. And then he said, "No, you can't have any." And then he's swung him from a door.
Yeah. Okay.
And like.
I like that bit. I thought that was
yeah.
That's fine.
No memory. Yeah, I mean, they're all my notes for both these films. Silence of the Lambs is definitely a good film. Definitely a good film. Not my favorite. I would not have personally given Anthony Hopkins a Oscar for his performance. I don't think it's that good.
Who would have? I mean, I'm assuming you haven't got as far as looking at films that you would have given an Oscar to.
No, and I had to turn my phone off, unfortunately, for the recording, so I cannot look it up. But
what do you want me to
could you look up the films of 1994, the best supporting actors nomination?
Don't do 994, do 991.
Do 991 because that's actually when the film came out. I don't know why I said 94.
Yeah.
I mean, supporting actors 1994.
Jodie Foster definitely. Jodie Foster definitely deserved it. I think she's really incredible in it.
And I think the scene, the nighttime vision scene where they're in the basement
at the end.
I mean, the shooter. I mean, I'm obviously it's mad and the basement thing. I've already discussed my issues with that. But that is a very good scene and. Clever. Yeah. Well done.
The night vision goggles.
Yeah.
I found it funny when he used it earlier on in the film, where there's like
he's like
street lights. I'm like, you can just see it.
Not that far away.
No, he's just in a bush.
I bought these very expensive goggles.
But then he takes off them to move a couch into his van as a trap, and I'm like, so why did you need the night vision?
Isn't it? It's classic nerd. Like,
classic. Don't put nerds and these people in the same conversation.
Well, he's a little bit, isn't he? He's bought his nighttime vision goggles.
Just othering people all over the place. Anyone different from Jules?
I'd buy night vision goggles.
Yeah, you fucking nerd.
Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying a bad thing.
Are we there yet?
Did you find anything about the fava bean issue that I brought up? Because I'm pretty sure that's a big thing here, but you guys didn't pick up on it. So, do you know what? But what I did like about, I mean, obviously it's disgusting, is when he cuts the face off of the police officer.
Yeah.
That's obviously like a kind of ode to Buffalo Bill, kind of like cutting people's.
I found that so funny. I was like, that's clearly Anthony Hopkins.
That's clearly Anthony.
Because he's dressed in his clothes and whatever, and like pretends to be the cop.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's obviously him. I can see that's Anthony Hopkins.
But that's the whole thing
not
of
fool
like
me.
these. I mean, it fooled me.
I mean, it's suspended. Did it?
I mean, I was tired at the time.
So what?
I don't ever think about these things. So
yeah, I mean, it's suspension of disbelief and all that, but like, it was so clearly him. I was just like, I was a bit taken back, and my housemate Elliot was in the room at that point, and I kind of just looked at him and just went, "But that's Anthony Hopkins," and he went, "Yeah, but like they don't know that," and I'm like, "How do they not know that? It's just him."
Because it's obviously someone's face. So it would be moving around on his face.
Yeah,
I think it would be.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that moment. And those cops are stupid. The ones who get murdered.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say you would deserve it, but that's what you get.
Yeah, stop going into the room where he is to put the meal down. Just slide it through a hatch.
Yeah. Why would you not have a
They were
hatch?
hatching it all
That's
before.
what all prisons have
Well, he
done
hatched
since
in
the
front- he had a
beginning of
hatch
prisons.
because of that issue.
Yeah.
In the previous place.
Stop putting it on a tray if you don't have a hatch. Just fucking, I don't know, put it in a box. I don't fucking know.
Well, yeah, but just
Give him a Happy Meal.
Just all like one of those post office things where you just have a hatch and you just pop it in the hatch.
Yeah,
close the
exactly.
door.
I mean, yeah, they've purpose built that
They
thing.
went through
So put a
many-
hatch in there.
They went through so much money, cost,
Yeah.
time, and effort
To build that in a town hall.
in a town. Yeah,
Look like it.
with a very nice lift.
Very nice lift. Very nice decor.
And then they were just like, you know what? We'll leave you in a
Mouldings.
massive room, which is all dark and weird.
Yeah, put some fucking lights
No
in there.
CCTV. Nothing.
No.
Oh, no eyes on.
No, and they definitely. I mean, it's 91. They would have had it.
So much
Yeah.
money, And yet no cameras.
I mean, they had
And
They had cameras
all
in
the
the
people
60s.
in the lobby. Have them all in that fucking room.
Yeah. There's
What's the
only
point of having them
two.
in the lobby?
Yeah, the entire police force is standing outside the building,
And then one person to go with
and then two people in that.
Jodie Foster down to go down there.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the psychologist left his pen, I was like, all right, well,
Yeah, here's the pen.
here we go then.
That's all he needs.
A well-placed pen.
Do quite a thing for a man like him. Which actually is what the psychologist is doing. He's playing with the pen in like his mouth and hands. So yeah, I instantly thought that Sonny quote.
So it says here that he won an Oscar. Best Actor in a Leading Role, Anthony Hopkins, 1992. Best Actress in a Leading Role, 1992, is Jodie Foster.
12 minutes. Is that the shortest time? For
I
lead?
think that's what it's famous for then. It must be famous that he's not a support, he is the lead actor and was only in it for 12 minutes overall.
And then
Which, to be fair, it feels like he's in long.
The other
The
other nominations were
in my head, all the scenes.
Yeah, I want to know who. Yeah, I want to know whether he deserved it.
Nick Nolte in The Prince of Tides.
Yeah, he probably.
Robin Williams, The Kingfisher.
Haven't watched
Robert
that.
De Niro, Cape Fear.
Oh, Cape Fear's.
And then,
I hear he's good in that, but it's like a remake of a
and then
famous film.
How is it?
Warren
Yeah.
Beatty, Bugsy.
Yeah, he probably deserved it then, didn't he?
I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, Robert De Niro would probably be a bit pissy because he does quite a lot of acting in that film.
Yeah, but he got a fucking Oscar for
Let's have a
Godfather
look.
Part 2, which is like
Oh.
what? He's so young in that. Like,
Do you want to know the actresses?
yeah.
So you got Susan Sarandon for Thelma and Louise.
I hear that's a very good film, and I hear she is very good in it. So
Gina Davis, Thelma and Louise.
there you go, both of them. Bloody hell.
Laura Dern, Rambling Rose, and
No
then
idea.
Betty Midler for The Boys.
No idea. I mean, yeah, she deserved it. I do. You know, Thelma and Louise is obviously very famous. Do you know what Thelma and Louise
I've
is?
heard of it.
It also won. He won Best Director as well for that film.
Yeah.
They won
5
quite
Oscars,
a lot.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough to them.
How many Oscars did Mr. Brooks win?
Let me check my notes.
None.
None.
Was it even nominated?
It had
so
2 award nominations.
So yeah, but
Editing, I bet.
It had 2 award nominations.
Editing.
Best Overall Stunt by a Woman, 2008. And then
What was
nominee for Discovery of the Year.
Oh,
World
a new-
Soundtrack Award.
So a new actor.
What was the women's stunt that got it?
Doesn't she get hit by a car?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
with the van. That's actually not a bad scene.
No,
I mean, it
no,
doesn't make too much
no.
sense.
She goes fucking flying, doesn't she?
does get out of it.
Yeah, she gets wrecked.
I remember thinking that's very cartoony,
Well,
and then I thought about the rest of the film, and I went, yeah, fair enough.
Well, I thought that was going to be like a big moment in the film where she's like in hospital or like.
And that he'd be able to like come visit her
But doesn't
in
she
hospital.
just recover instantly? Or is
Yeah,
this
pretty
some
much.
long time?
Which does lend to the cartoon.
Because that guy has literally
subway.
slammed her into a van who is steroided up to the nines and is massive, slamming her about, and then she flies out of a van into a car or something.
Yeah, that is
I
how
mean,
it goes, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not.
I'm no doctor,
I'm not a doctor, but I'd be like.
but it looked like it hurt.
Yeah, I'd be taking a couple of weeks off.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely winning an Oscar for it. It's what I thought.
Yeah, I was thinking the stunt Oscar specifically.
Yes,
for it, but,
specifically.
yeah.
You've done budget and box office for Silence of the Lambs. Do you have the Mr. Brooks numbers?
I do.
Yes, I do. Yes.
In
So
my head.
the
It's not good.
the Mr. Brooks numbers are nowhere near as good as Silence of
Okay.
the Lambs. So budget was 20 million, and then they grossed 48.1.
Okay, so
I had
it cost
28. I saw.
Did you?
more money than Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah.
But it is, 17 years later? So
Doesn't cost
realistically cheaper. And Kevin Costner as well, to be that cheap as well. He must have been so into this film for it to be that cheap.
Absolutely. I mean,
he must have taken a low salary.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know, but you would, by those numbers, yeah, you would have thought so. I mean, you said 28, did you, Jules?
That's what I saw.
Okay.
For what? Box office?
Box office, but they might have
that might be domestic rather than global.
This was worldwide. Gross, 48 mil. But it's like, if it was only 28, like it's only another. I say only, but like for worldwide,
an American,
another 20 million.
An American film
only
making
great,
28 in America.
Well, if it cost 20 million, it probably cost another 20 million.
Big old bomb
market. So yeah, they're probably making not very much money on their returns.
The general rule of thumb is like marketing doubles the budget,
and then also you have like how long it took from them investing all that money to when they get it back. So their rate of return is probably
yeah. I mean, you want to make your budget back on the opening weekend, pretty much. Like that's because the opening weekend is the big one, unless it goes on for fucking ever, like Titanic in cinemas or whatever. You I mean, especially now, the lifespan of being in a cinema is like 3 weeks or something. Yeah. It's insane.
Honestly, like when I'm finally get round to wanting to go to the cinema to watch a film, it's
gone
out on a streaming platform, and I'm just like, oh.
It's interesting because Deadpool and Wolverine is now available to buy and rent.
Yeah,
really? It's not on Disney Plus yet because they know they're going to make so much fucking money with it.
I mean,
it's crazy.
It's clever. Well,
it's justified.
Yeah.
I will not pay for it. I will wait.
No, yeah, same.
I already pay for your service. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For which you killed a person over or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you're trying to put ads on as well. Fuckers.
Going back to basically TV again.
Yep.
I mean, Prime already does that, which is where I've pretty much watched all these films on Prime. And now the James Bond films that I watch on ITV are on Prime now. And so I have adverts for all these films pretty much.
Yeah.
And I pay for it. I pay for it and I get adverts.
That's just what TV's like, isn't it? You pay for the license fee and then you pay for, and they give you adverts. It's going back to the old thing again.
Bombarded with adverts. But yeah.
I'll say that I don't like Mr. Brooks.
I
found it to be dull.
I think it's pretty obvious from the conversations that, yeah.
Silence of the Lambs all day long for me.
I mean, I'll probably never watch it again. I think there are more interesting. Clockwork Orange is very interesting. American Psycho's interesting, not my favourite either.
I have to admit, I found it quite difficult to pick another film to go with this one, to go with Silence of the Lambs. Probably could have picked a better one, but at the time I think there was enough
interesting.
Yeah. But no, I would totally say that Silence of the Lambs for me is.
I don't feel like a dickhead for watching it.
No.
I felt like a dickhead for watching some of the other films we've done.
Yeah.
And I'm sure both of you have for the films I've picked. I mean, it's recorded.
Yeah.
I know you didn't like those films.
We tolerated them.
Yeah. But like, it's got a 7.2 or something, like Mr. Brooks.
Yeah,
it's not low rating.
There's some love for it out there.
It's got a 7.3.
Really love it. They see it as underrated.
7.3, yeah. I mean, that's how you talked about it, Ed, really.
Yeah. It was like interesting enough to watch it, but like wasn't anything special. I think that would be a fair sum up. But then Silence of the Lambs got 8.6 on IMDb and 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, Silence of the Lambs is a film.
It's famous.
And Mr. Brooks is like,
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. It's an all right concept.
I mean, it's the first instance of Hannibal Lecter, I assume, in like film, TV media.
Yeah.
And he is the guy.
And it's seen
like everyone knows Hannibal.
Yeah.
If you think, you say that, people know what you mean. Yeah. You say, Mr. Brooks. They go,
honestly, bro, when I've been told people what two films we were doing for this episode, I went Silence of the Lambs and they were like, oh yeah. And then I went Mr. Brooks. They were like, oh, never heard of Mr. Brooks. Is it any good? And I was like, it's all right. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of people online being like, this one flies under the radar. And like half of people are like, for good reason. And other people are like, don't understand it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you actually just don't get it.
Yeah,
you just
don't get it. Like, you have to have like a higher level of thinking, actually. So, Jules, you got a bunch of notes that you didn't understand. So we'll fire through those and see what
keep me awake during these.
See if it triggers anything.
Films which I don't.
See if I can remember these films.
Misty Forest. They obviously run.
Which film was this?
This is Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, Misty Forest is at the very start.
Yeah, which is fine. They're running I said running outfits are questionable. Turtle,
Very 80s, the running outfits.
Turtleneck and jumper. Although
But that's what they did in the 80s.
I started jogging with the fleece
because it's about sweating in the 80s. Because they think that's how you lose weight.
And
You sweat it all out.
Kind of
Yeah.
Silly. Weird big credits. Don't like those. Apparently.
That's another thing that dated it. Were the big credits at the start. Like the way it introduces the film is very 70s.
I've got Chilton is gross.
Yeah, he's the psychiatrist at the facility.
Yeah,
he is.
Oh yeah, lots of gates. Why I can't touch glass. Did she try and steal accent?
What, a West Virginian
Oh
accent?
yeah, that's an interesting bit. Is that
she's trying to hide it.
That bit where he takes a piss out of her accent,
Mm.
that's real. She puts that accent on. She's been trying to do it for ages, the actor. And then Anthony Hopkins, out of script, it's not in the script, just takes the piss out of it. And,
Interesting.
But apparently they never really speak on set. They both found each other apparently really
Off-putting. Yeah, I bet.
And so at the end they were like hello, and he was like hello, and then they just left.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Bizarre.
I like West Virginia accents. That drawl. I like Southern drawls.
That droll.
That droll.
Classic impact.
Get that crocodile.
Cutaways, bang. Sex big
I mean,
part.
that's just Cajun.
Nifty jacking kit. I like the jacking kit they used to change the wheel, so that was quite cool.
As we've all changed the wheel.
Yeah, so
It took all three of us together.
Yeah.
We did it. We're men.
A lot of scratching on the head and hands on hips, but we got
So
there
many
in the end.
YouTube tutorials, honestly.
Yeah. Men thinking they know better. So many hats. Surrounded by men. Very sweaty hip nostrils. That makes no sense. Bug in mouth. Fava beans, broad beans. I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
The bug in mouth is
Fava beans. Yeah.
the bug in mouth is pretty gross. Of gross.
I think got
thing.
love tattooed on hard. Don't know what that means.
Love tattooed on hard.
Love tattooed on hand. Must be hand.
Oh yeah. It
Boxing
is, yeah.
scene. Woman in a man's world. I thought that was quite clever.
$1 million baby.
Dead dad flashback? Question mark.
Yep.
Cream for nostrils. Smell.
I mean, she's very unstable to be having a full, like, out of body experience of her own father's funeral at a funeral centre, which is not going to be an uncommon place for her to be going. Like, she needs to get her shit together.
Yeah, I mean,
And she does, to be fair.
yeah, fair play to her.
Saves the day.
Gets the Oscar.
Gets the Oscar.
Mouth in moth. Crucial. I've put, which I was right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just says here about fava beans that it's just Hannibal Lecter's favourite type of bean.
So it is important.
So he said, like, the quote is...
Must be in the
ate-
book, I bet. I bet it's just...
The quote...
No, doesn't he have it? He has the...
I ate his
fava
liver with a side of fava beans
Yes.
and a nice
Chianti.
yeah. So, like...
Chianti.
Chianti. With a nice Chianti.
A nice Chianti.
I had a nice Chianti with some
They
fava
spelled
beans.
Chant wrong here, but that's what he said.
Yeah. A bottle of the Chianti, please, when you're ready.
Back to nerds. Bug experts are stereo nerds, I put.
Oh, yeah, he was a creepy little dude, wasn't he? Yeah, the bug nerd, yeah.
Yeah, because we already know who the baddies are in this. Like, there's no like mystery. Like, we know what Buffalo Bill looks like. We know who Hannibal Lecter is. So there's never any sort of misconception as to like who done it, because we know who done it already.
Which
I
normally
quite
in like True Detective, the first season anyway, you don't know who it is, and that's part of the intrigue. That's another great show for this type of thing,
And then,
which Jules will not watch.
No. Ethics of the prison swap deal. Thought they were questionable. Parents at 10. Large girl equals size 14, which I thought classic of the time.
Yes. I mean that's it gets worse because that's 91.
Yeah,
So it's all about size
I've seen a lot of
0
compilation
10 years
videos
later.
of like
the Kate
Jerry
Moss.
Halloway being
Yeah.
like a curvy big girl and stuff, and like
she's
she's
like
like
size
picture of her
2
just
or what.
tiny.
yeah, and it's like fuck me,
Fucking
and then
hell.
you wonder why.
What am I
everyone's
then?
Give her
depressed.
some food.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
She needs some milk.
Have some
Some
pasta.
milk.
Jesus.
Don't have the milk because that's psychopathic apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It is.
Like,
But I don't like the transfer back in time. If I go back to my notes here, and then I've also written how sound does this film intellectually, which makes me sound like a bellend. But I'll
don't need the
question
notes for that, mate.
Nope.
it. Police not great at
Through-
thinking smartly. Again, gives you some idea of my character.
Smartly.
Man mask.
Smarty.
Man moth.
I'm
Don't
a
know what it
smarty
means.
pants.
Naughty pictures. Why cat? Birds. Dressmaker. Gross. Moths.
Dress is gross,
Dog is very
obviously.
overweight. I've got. He's feeding that dog human people.
The little poodle, whatever it is.
Yeah, it looks
what's it?
Didn't look fat to me.
Bijan Frise.
Did not look fat.
Size 14.
Size 14.
Size 14 dog.
Yeah, I mean, my main gripe was with going into the cellar. My key learning point is don't.
But it's a tense scene, and that's what you want for your final scene, isn't it?
People just.
It is. Yeah, I mean, like what you said at the start.
She shouldn't have won. She should not have won. Like the shootout.
No,
Yeah.
he was just fucking blasting.
Yeah.
And then
she's blind.
and she had no idea. She just saw the flashes, which I thought was kind of cool.
So
but then he was
missed.
blind though, because if he's wearing night vision goggles and then there's a big flash of light, like you can't see anything.
Yeah.
I think that's yeah.
I also thought that
That checks out. That plays out.
Hannibal looks very dumb.
I don't know enough about that to dispute it.
Yeah, I don't know enough about night vision goggles to dispute it.
Yeah. They definitely let you see in night.
Yeah, or
You fucking hope so.
or in a dimly lit car park.
Shall I give you what ChatGPT said about these films in a comparison piece?
Go on then.
Hannibal Lecter. Oh no, in fact, this might have just been a review, so I don't want to take that away from whoever wrote this, but it doesn't really matter.
But you sound like a computer. Whoever wrote this.
Yes. Hannibal Lecter shows that monsters can be human, and Mr. Brooks shows that humans can be monsters.
I mean, that's just wrong.
It's
just wrong. Oh my god. You actually didn't get the film? Whoever this person is. Computer man, Mr. AI.
And yeah, I was surprised by how, because I'd heard Hannibal, and again, I didn't really know who it was. But yeah,
You didn't know who Hannibal Lecter was.
I always
You need to get off the farm every once in a while. Jesus Christ.
Between Hannibal the Carthaginian and knowing that there was
Right,
Hannibal. So I was a bit like, is this film about Hannibal? But I probably would have seen it because I like
The
Roman Empire.
the
Carthaginian. Hannibal was he was a famous
General.
military general.
This is some
He took the elephant.
history nerd stuff.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
you're
Well, see, this is
talking
the thing.
about.
So then I always was confused about this. So then watching this film was obviously.
Of course, that's who you
It
thought
shone
it
a
was.
light on that.
That's your fucking go-to. Oh, he's a Carthaginian general, isn't he?
And for a Carthaginian general, he
He
was
looks
quite
well
dumpy.
for the 90s.
Yeah. Silly, but
Have you got miscellaneous Mr. Brooks notes?
people on YouTube liked it. First for trilogy, the American Psycho thing said it was like American Psycho, but he had a midlife crisis and decided to become a family man,
Which is basically Dexter.
And then someone said
That's the show.
I don't know what this means, but someone said it's a hat on a hat. I don't know if you.
Yeah, that saying.
Oh.
It's
Isn't it like to cover up?
Yeah, trying to be clever with something else, but none of it's clever. Or
I put Dane Cook a bit shit, and then the only thing I imagined was that the secretary, she could find him out because the secretary sees Dane Cook.
Oh right, yeah.
And then would see him in the newspapers as the thumbprint killer, and be like, he was here in the office. He's the thumbprint killer, and my boss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
I imagine the second film they would have to kill the secretary.
Says here, a hat on a hat means to put an unnecessary addition on top of something that was working well by itself, usually to ill effect.
Okay,
But we have no idea what
That's in reference to.
that in reference to, because
It might just be the entire film.
It might be the entire film. From my point of view, that would be his alter ego,
but the alter ego,
or Dane Cook. One of
Marshall
those.
is probably the best character in it, though. So
I know
unfortunately.
it is, and it is frustrating. But the best character is what I find solely problematic with the film as well, as a concept.
Also, how does
But
he
it's a
clear
film,
out-
so
how does he clear out Dane Cook's flat? Because it's completely emptied, isn't it? When she goes in for the benefit of the people, my bag is moving.
Just
Given the films we're reviewing,
Oh, so scared.
Let's split up.
thank God we're together. I'm not saying, thank God.
Who's in that recording booth?
Yeah.
It's also weird because there's a screen there that I can't see through, so I don't like that. And there's also a vent there, and there could be someone in there. And there,
It's behind
I
you.
don't like it.
Deary me.
You can also see how much I didn't prefer Mr. Brooks because I've done a lot of squiggles and drawings, which often means I'm bored, to try and keep me awake. I thought I was going to fall asleep in Mr. Brooks, but I'm glad to report that I didn't.
It's it's one of them, innit? I think we've
I actually didn't nearly fall asleep in either of these films.
No, I didn't
I was
either. I mean,
surprised.
I never fall asleep during
There's
films.
a film coming up which surprised me how sleepy I got.
Yeah.
But there are reasons.
There are.
There are reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Silence of the Lambs.
So yeah, we've all agreed that Silence of the Lambs is takes the win.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
We
This
agree with the
Oscar-winning
general
film.
So yeah, I
know.
mean, if
Maybe
you-
sometimes the public get it right.
yeah, sometimes they do. I mean,
Sometimes the Academy, they know what they're talking about.
bastards.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys agree, disagree, have any other thoughts of these two films, then please don't hesitate to let us know.
Let us know. Comment, like, subscribe, all those
Do all of
things.
that, do all of that stuff, and we'll be back again soon. Thank you very much for listening to the This or That podcast. I've been Ed.
I've been Callum.
And I've been Jules.
Thank you very much for listening. See you later.
Bye.